his face, and then is going there, comes back, looks at his face, is going into the stage, but he comes back and looks at his face. And this lady said, "Oh, he's vain of his good looks." Immediately, Swami was very telepathic. So he turned around to her and said, "You know, the moment I step away from the mirror, I can't remember what I look like." The whole idea of a form is so strongly identified with his nature as awareness only, as Atman only, Bodhoham, that I am somehow this form, that's difficult for him to hold on to. Just the opposite. We are so tied to this body, that person is finding it difficult to hold on to this body identification. He says, Anya Shariravat, just like another body. That is form. Name, Swami Brahmananda, another disciple of Sri Ramakrishna. He was the president of the order, of the whole our whole monastic order, first president. I mean, technically Vivekananda was the first president, but he immediately transferred it over to Brahmananda. I always keep saying Swami Brahmananda is the first president, and somebody corrected me. Technically you are wrong, Swami. Now, as the president, he had to sign resolutions and stuff like that, documents. And this young monk, who later became also the president of the order, Swami Shuddhanandaji, Shuddhi Maharaj, it was he was hapless, his job to get the signatures from Swami Brahmananda. And Swami Brahmananda would put it up, said, "Not today, I'll sign it tomorrow." Then tomorrow would be like, "Not today, then tomorrow." Or, "I'm not really feeling well today, later." Just a signature. So finally, exasperated, the monk Shuddhananda asked Swami Brahmananda, "Maharaj, why don't you just sign it? It's a simple thing, it's just sign it." And he replied with a touch of pathos. He said, "Sudhir, I want to sign it, and I can't remember my name." He was ashamed to admit that he can't remember his name. The personal identity which is so strong to us, this body, this form, this name, my little story, my list of grudges, my projects, my memories, this constitutes our personality, and this is so important to us. And now it is added, so many folders full of photos and selfies. Wherever I've gone, I've taken so many pictures. That's also part of my story. All of this is my identity. This has nothing to that person, because that person has stepped back from it and realized it's his infinite nature as limitless awareness. Anya Shariravat. Another example I've given is of Ramana Maharshi. Somebody wrote an article criticizing him, and that a copy was given to him. And Ramana Maharshi sat down and carefully corrected the grammar and the spellings and sent back a copy to the writer. Somebody said, "But Maharshi, he is criticizing you." And Ramana Maharshi looked startled. "Oh no, he's not. He's criticizing some fellow called Ramana." He is so identified, so centered in his nature as awareness itself, and therefore identified with everybody and nobody. As awareness, either you are all of this or none of it. Our problem is, I am awareness, but for some unjustifiable, inexplicable reason, I have grasped this body-mind as myself, and have occluded, forgotten, shoved aside my awareness nature. And I have a physical nature, a mental nature, a personality nature, but awareness by itself is a tiny part of it. Whereas the enlightened one, from the perspective as limitless awareness, sees this body and this mind as just either I am all bodies and minds and all beings. Krishna says, "Kshetragyam chapi mam vidhi sarva kshetreshu bharata." Know, O Arjuna, know me as the knower of the field in all fields. The bodies are the fields. In each field there seems to be a separate knower. But he says, no, there's only one knower. And I am that knower in all beings. So this one limitless consciousness I am, either I am all of it or none of it. Our problem starts when I grasp one of it and then start interacting with the rest. Like a dream. In the dream I am all of it or none of it. But what happens in the dream? Why do I get scared, nightmare, problems? Because I pick up one being in the dream and say, I am that, and then now I'm experiencing all of this. Samsara is also like that. So this is the third great movement. How do you bring this realization to bear upon this life? This life will continue. If you are able to bring this realization to bear upon this life and solve the problems which are problems, either till now they were problems, now they are no longer problems, then you are called Jivan Mukta, liberated while living. Gunatita, beyond the gunas of Prakriti, beyond Maya. Or in the words of Kabir, Ram Niranjan Nyarare. In the midst of samsara, in the midst of Maya, you are utterly transcendent. You don't have to sit in a cave for this. You can if you want to. There's nothing that binds you. Somebody said, what are the duties of an enlightened one? No duty. What should an enlightened one do? You cannot say. Will they do anything? They might. They often do a lot, much more than us. Or they might not do anything also. There is no limitation. There's no way of stipulating anything that the enlightened one has to do this or doesn't have to do that. So utterly independent is the enlightened one, but this is also utterly one with the entire universe. Okay.